IELTS Speaking Part 2 topic. Describe a time when you had to give feedback to someone. Who did you give feedback to? What was the situation or context? What feedback did you give? How did the person receive your feedback?
Giving feedback is an integral part of effective communication and personal growth. One such occasion when I found myself in a position to provide feedback was during my previous job as a project manager at a leading software company. The person I had to give feedback to was a talented young developer named Alex, and the context was a crucial project that required meticulous attention to detail. The situation arose when Alex was assigned a critical task of developing a complex algorithm for our new software product. As the project manager, it was my responsibility to ensure that every team member delivered their best. While Alex possessed exceptional programming skills, I noticed a pattern of minor errors and inconsistencies in his code, which could potentially affect the overall performance of the software. With a desire to help Alex grow professionally, I decided to give him constructive feedback. I scheduled a one-on-one meeting with him, in which I discussed the importance of accuracy and consistency in coding. I emphasized that even small errors could have significant consequences and urged him to be more thorough in his work. I offered guidance and suggested resources that could assist him in improving his coding practices. Initially, I was concerned about how Alex would receive my feedback. However, he surprised me with his receptiveness and eagerness to improve. He acknowledged the areas where he had made mistakes and expressed gratitude for the guidance I provided. He demonstrated a positive attitude and was determined to rectify his shortcomings. Over the following weeks, I observed remarkable progress in Alex's work. His code became more precise, and the errors he previously made were significantly reduced. His attention to detail and commitment to quality became evident, and he even went the extra mile to review his colleagues' code and provide suggestions for improvement. The experience of giving feedback to Alex taught me the importance of providing constructive criticism in a supportive manner. It also highlighted the significance of establishing a rapport with team members, fostering an environment where feedback is seen as an opportunity for growth rather than a personal attack. In conclusion, the time I had to give feedback to Alex was a valuable learning experience for both of us. Through open and honest communication, I was able to address his coding errors and help him develop into a more proficient developer. Alex's positive reception of my feedback and subsequent improvement demonstrated the power of constructive criticism in fostering personal and professional growth.
IELTS Speaking Part 2 topic. Describe an occasion when you received feedback or criticism. What was the context of the feedback or criticism? Who provided it and in what manner? How did you react to the feedback? What changes or improvements did you make based on the feedback?
In the pursuit of personal and professional growth, receiving feedback or criticism plays a pivotal role. One such significant occasion in my life when I received valuable feedback was during my tenure as a marketing executive at a leading tech firm. The context of the feedback was related to a major advertising campaign I had spearheaded, and it came from my supervisor, Mr. Johnson, in a candid yet supportive manner. The advertising campaign in question was aimed at promoting the company's latest product, a revolutionary smartphone with cutting-edge features. Being the project lead, I had invested significant effort and creativity into developing the campaign. However, despite my earnest endeavors, the initial market response was lukewarm, which was evident from the lack of customer engagement and unsatisfactory sales figures. Mr. Johnson, my supervisor and an experienced marketing guru, took the responsibility of providing me with feedback. He called me into his office, maintaining a reassuring demeanor, and began discussing the campaign's performance. He, pulling no punches, shared the campaign's shortcomings and emphasized the need for improvement. His feedback was delivered constructively, focusing on specific aspects that needed attention, and he balanced his critique with recognition of the effort I had put into the project. Admittedly, upon hearing the candid feedback, I felt a mix of emotions, a blend of defensiveness and gratitude. It is never easy to receive criticism, especially when one has invested time and creativity into a project. However, I reminded myself that growth often emerges from embracing constructive criticism. Instead of taking it personally, I chose to view the feedback as an opportunity to refine my skills and learn from the experience. Armed with the invaluable feedback, I embarked on a journey to revamp the advertising campaign. I gathered my team for brainstorming sessions, encouraging an open exchange of ideas. We conducted comprehensive market research to understand our target audience better, their preferences, and pain points. To add fuel to the fire, we brought in external experts to review and challenge our ideas further, which offered fresh perspectives. Based on the feedback and insights gained, we made several crucial changes to the campaign. We refined the messaging to be more customer-centric, highlighting the product's unique benefits and addressing the pain points identified through market research. Furthermore, we devised a more cohesive and engaging multimedia strategy, utilizing social media influencers to tap into the millennial market. In retrospect, the occasion when I received constructive feedback on the advertising campaign was transformative for both my professional development and the success of the project. Mr. Johnson's astute observations and encouragement to embrace criticism helped me realize that progress stems from acknowledging weaknesses and striving to improve. Through the implementation of the suggested changes and improvements, the campaign witnessed a remarkable upturn in customer engagement and sales, surpassing our initial targets. This experience taught me the value of constructive criticism and shaped my approach to future projects. I now actively seek feedback from peers and superiors, recognizing that it serves as a catalyst for growth. Moreover, I have developed resilience in the face of criticism and cultivated a growth mindset, which has become my driving force in achieving personal and professional success.
IELTS Speaking Part 2 topic. Describe a time when you received constructive criticism. What was the situation or context in which you received criticism? Who provided the constructive criticism and why? What specific feedback or suggestions did you receive? How did you respond to and benefit from the constructive criticism?
Receiving constructive criticism is like uncovering a hidden gem that possesses the power to shape one's growth and development. I vividly recall an instance when I received such insightful feedback, leaving an indelible mark on my personal and professional journey. The context of this memorable event was a team project during my final year at university. The project was a crucial component of our curriculum, requiring collaborative efforts from all team members. As the deadline approached, tensions ran high, and the project's success seemed uncertain. It was during this intense phase that a fellow teammate, Emily, who had a reputation for her meticulous nature, provided me with invaluable constructive criticism. Emily's intention behind her feedback was undoubtedly driven by our shared goal of project excellence. She highlighted certain areas in my section that needed improvement. Her feedback wasn't just a critique, it was a well-thought-out analysis of my work. She pointed out that while my content was comprehensive, the flow was somewhat disrupted by abrupt transitions between ideas. She also suggested incorporating more visual aids to enhance clarity and engagement. Initially, receiving this feedback was a mix of emotions. While I felt a pang of defensiveness, I recognized the value in Emily's suggestions. Her insights resonated with my own concerns about the project's cohesiveness. This marked a pivotal moment where I had a choice: to either embrace the feedback and grow or dismiss it and potentially compromise the project's quality. I chose the former path, realizing that constructive criticism is a bridge to improvement. I meticulously revised my section, focusing on smooth transitions between ideas and integrating compelling visual elements. The outcome was remarkable. Not only did the project garner positive feedback from our professors, but it also became a standout project within our cohort. The benefits of embracing Emily's constructive criticism extended far beyond the project itself. I honed my ability to accept feedback graciously, recognizing that it wasn't a personal attack but an opportunity to refine my skills. This experience also taught me the art of effective collaboration, where the collective goal surpasses individual egos. In conclusion, the episode of receiving constructive criticism from Emily became a transformative juncture in my journey. It illuminated the importance of constructive criticism as a catalyst for growth. This experience reaffirmed the adage that the toughest teachers often provide the most profound lessons. Not only did I enhance my project, but I also nurtured an attitude of continuous improvement that extends to every facet of my life.
IELTS Speaking Part 2 topic. Describe a time when you had to give feedback to someone. Who did you give feedback to and what was the context? When did this interaction occur and what was the nature of the feedback? How did you deliver the feedback and what specific points did you address? How did the person receive and respond to your feedback?
Giving feedback is a crucial aspect of effective communication and personal growth. One instance that comes to mind is when I had to provide feedback to a colleague at my previous workplace. This experience occurred about 2 years ago in a professional setting, where constructive criticism was essential for continuous improvement. The person to whom I had to give feedback was a fellow project manager, and the context was a critical client meeting. We were both responsible for different aspects of the project, but it was evident that the overall presentation needed improvement to secure the client's approval. The interaction took place during a team meeting scheduled for project evaluation. The nature of the feedback was primarily related to our presentation skills, teamwork, and how well we communicated the project's intricacies to the client. I felt that we had room for improvement in our clarity, alignment of messages, and engagement with the client. Delivering the feedback was a sensitive task, as I wanted to ensure that it was constructive and not demotivating. I scheduled a one-on-one meeting with my colleague to discuss our performance. I began by praising the aspects of our work that went well, highlighting our dedication and commitment. Then, I moved on to specific areas that needed enhancement, including the need for more concise explanations, improved time management, and better synchrony in our responses to client inquiries. To maintain a respectful and considerate tone, I employed a range of diplomatic idioms and words during the conversation. I mentioned that our teamwork was like a well-oiled machine, but our presentation needed to be polished to perfection. I emphasized that we should put our best foot forward and strike while the iron is hot to secure the client's approval. Thankfully, my colleague received the feedback with grace and professionalism. Instead of becoming defensive or resentful, they displayed an open mindset and a strong willingness to improve. My colleague acknowledged the points I raised and expressed gratitude for my candor and guidance. In the days that followed, we worked closely to implement the feedback effectively. We organized additional practice sessions to improve our presentation skills, shared resources on communication strategies, and even attended workshops on client engagement. This process allowed us to align our efforts and create a presentation that not only met the client's expectations but also exceeded them. In retrospect, this experience highlighted the significance of delivering feedback in a constructive and tactful manner. It reinforced the notion that feedback, when delivered with diplomacy and consideration, can lead to personal and professional growth. It was a testament to the power of effective communication, teamwork, and a growth-oriented mindset.
IELTS Speaking Part 2 topic. Describe an occasion when you received feedback or criticism. What was the context of the feedback or criticism? Who provided it and in what manner? How did you react to the feedback? What changes or improvements did you make based on the feedback?
Receiving feedback or criticism is an inevitable part of personal and professional growth. One particular instance that stands out occurred during my first year at university. The context of this feedback was my initial attempt at delivering a formal presentation in front of my peers and professors. The presentation was a critical component of my communication skills course, and the stakes were high as it contributed significantly to my final grade. The feedback was provided by my professor, Dr. Johnson, a distinguished figure in the field of communication studies. Dr. Johnson's reputation for being both astute and uncompromising preceded him, and I knew his critique would be thorough. He chose to deliver his feedback in a very structured and methodical manner, which, although daunting, was incredibly insightful. After my presentation, he asked me to meet him in his office for a one-on-one discussion. This setting allowed for a detailed and candid conversation, where he meticulously pointed out the strengths and weaknesses of my performance. Dr. Johnson began by acknowledging the positive aspects of my presentation, such as my eloquent delivery and the clarity of my visuals. However, he didn't mince words when it came to areas that needed improvement. He pointed out that my arguments lacked depth and that my reliance on notes made my delivery appear less confident. Furthermore, he highlighted that I often seemed to circumlocute, making my points less impactful. Initially, I felt a wave of disappointment wash over me. The sting of criticism was hard to bear, especially since I had put in a considerable amount of effort. However, I quickly realized the value of Dr. Johnson's feedback. I decided to adopt a resilient mindset, viewing his critique not as a setback but as a catalyst for improvement. Based on Dr. Johnson's feedback, I made several changes to my approach. I began to engage more deeply with my material, ensuring that my arguments were well-researched and robust. I also practiced delivering my presentations without relying heavily on notes, which significantly boosted my confidence. Additionally, I worked on being more succinct, ensuring that each point I made was potent and clear. The impact of these improvements was evident in my subsequent presentations. Not only did I receive higher grades, but I also felt more self-assured and composed in front of an audience. This experience taught me the invaluable lesson that constructive criticism, though sometimes hard to swallow, is a powerful tool for personal and professional growth. Dr. Johnson's feedback, delivered with candor and precision, transformed my approach to presentations and continues to influence my communication skills to this day. Hope you liked our video. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to keep us motivated.